Well. Good evening, everybody out there in Chester County, Coatesville, and on my Facebook page. It is Tuesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. If it's Tuesday, it's time for City Town Talk, man. And look, I'm glad that you're tuning in because City Town Talk is where I have the best guests, ladies and gentlemen. And I got a young man that's on a pugilistic journey. I just learned that word, pugilistic. I'm telling you. I do my research when I have guests on my show. Man, I can't wait to introduce him to some of y'all, because some of y'all know him and his family, and we're going to get with that shortly. So now, before we get started, I want y'all to come on in. Let's turn on the comment section just in case you want to say a little something to the brother, or you can even say hi to me because it makes me feel like I'm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I got none other than Karl Wylie on this evening, and I am so excited about having him on because look, I had an opportunity to talk to him. You know what I mean? God, Lord, I'm telling you, I had no idea, man. Of course, he's articulate and everything because the first thing you think about somebody that's boxing, you can't string a sentence together. But this right here, his brain ain't been smashed, the mash, he's okay, and it's good. So we're going to talk about him and find out just what the heck is going on with this young man. He's one of Coatesville's own, too. I've been knowing him for a few years. I had no idea. Him and his brother. But look, here's a short bio on him. I want you to meet Karl Wylie. He's a pro boxer, Coatesville's own pro. And I'm thinking he's going to be either the next super featherweight or featherweight champion of the world. So from the age of 16 to stepping into the professional ring, Karl Wylie has turned adversity into purpose. Mentored by world champion Calvin Grove, I'm going to say that one more time. Mentored by world champion Calvin Grove, who fought the last 15-round championship fight in America. Don't get it twisted about Coatesville. Yeah. Karl fights at 130 pounds, super featherweight, and has already earned his place as one of Coatesville's greatest athletes. Karl's mission goes beyond boxing. He's a mentor, coach, and community builder who dreams of opening a local boxing gym and inspiring the next generation to rise above challenges. His story is one of faith, resilience, and determination, not to just survive, but to thrive. That's right. I like to say that again. Sound like a rapper, not just to survive, but to thrive. That's right. So if you're going to do it, he said do it at 110%. Hey, Karl, top of the evening to you, kind sir.
How you doing, sir?
Man, so far so good. How's your day so far?
It's not doing bad. It's not doing bad at all, actually. Winding down, so.
So did you do any training today?
Absolutely.
We're gonna talk about what that training looks like and all that kind of stuff. Hey, look, I want y'all to tune on it and don't forget, if you're tuning in, don't forget the share button on your page. Hit the share button so we can share this stuff. Do it like you do rumors. Like when somebody say, don't tell nobody, and y'all tell everybody. Well, treat this show like a rumor and tell everybody. Karl, man, it is good to see you, man. Karl, let me ask you a question. Are you originally from Coatesville?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All your life?
All my life.
All right, now, so that means you graduated, because we only got one high school, so you graduated from Cash, is that? Okay. So now, all right, so you're in high school, because now you're fighting and everything. In high school, what did you... Hey, that's my son calling me. I'll call you back. Let me ask you, what did you want to be when you grew
up? Growing up, I just wanted to be an athlete. I loved playing sports. My mom had us playing sports all year round: basketball, football, baseball. So it was something with sports. But unfortunately, as I got older, I didn't grow much. And as you see it in most sports, to be successful, their guys are, they're at least 6 foot, and little less than average height, I would say. So those dreams kind of dwindled, as you could say, until boxing found me, or I found boxing, however we like to look at it.
So tell us about your family. First of all, who's your mom? How many brothers and sisters? And your dad? We don't want to leave dads out because that always happens. So So, who's your mom and your dad, and do you have any brothers and sisters? Let's talk about them for a couple of minutes.
Yes, I do. My mother's name is Gwendolyn James. She's here from Coatesville, and my father is Kenny Wylie, and he's from Westchester and Coatesville and Chester and just local. And I do have three siblings: Shaquan, Kenny, and Corden. And I do have a son who is 16 years old, Carl Jr.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Man, I remember when you were 16. Come on, man.
Yeah, a long time ago, it seems like.
Hey, brother Tyrone has checked in from the 10 11. Hey, Tyrone, man, I have on this show right now none other than Mr. Karl Wylie, who's going to be the next, well, maybe not the next, but he's going to be our future super featherweight champion. Is that what you want to be, or you want to be featherweight?
Sure. Super
featherweight.
Yeah, featherweight is 126. I don't think I can get down to that per se. Them 4 extra pounds, believe me, it's a lot.
All right, okay, we're going to talk about that because evidently that must be special and important, them pounds. Okay, look. All right, so now, who first introduced you to boxing?
Oh, actually, it was a friend of mine because growing up in Coatesville, it's a small town, but it's pretty aggressive to say. So a group of friends of mine didn't like another set of friends, as you could say. So all we did was just fight and just fight and fight and fight and fight. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, and I fought this guy one time, and he was a smaller guy, he was smaller than me. So initially you're bigger, you just he's small, and then you kind of underestimate him. And that's when I realized that size does not matter. And we get into the fight, and I try to attack the little guy allegedly. And he did something, and he ended up on my side, and he just caught me with a really good shot, to say the least. And, he drew blood. And after the fight and everything, one of my friends was like, my dad teaches me boxing. He was like, and if you box, like, you wouldn't have took that shot. He wouldn't hit you with that shot. But I always was on YouTube watching, a lot of boxing, just the fights. But to actually train, it just never crossed my mind. It just never. But then at that point, when he said that to me, I'm like, you know what? I'm very prideful. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to ever get hit like that again, period. So I looked into it, and then I stepped into the gym. I was 16, and 17 years later, here I am in and out the gym.
Wow, man, that is interesting. That's interesting. So was there anybody in your life that really inspired you to step into the ring, or did you have a special person?
Not initially. When I just started to box, I just wanted to be the best. So, you kind of just get in there and you learn some things. But then I started training with Calvin Grove when the gym in Coatesville, it was behind the church on 8th Avenue. And the church ended up selling the building. And what happened was, we lost the gym, and then I ran into Calvin Grove one time because he was always with the kids and the youth, put the gloves on, just a great guy, great man, great mentor. And, he just took us to the gym down Phoenixville. And then at that moment, he just inspired me because, like I said, he was a retired, former champion. And he fought the last 15 rounds. He fought some guys. He fought some tough guys. He fought in Mexico. And, he's a dog, as they would say in sports. And, working with him, he got me sharper. He got me better. And he was a great mentor. And I got to sparring. And then once I started to spar him, and I kind of never really could catch him because he was just so slick, so smooth. He had longer arms than me by like an inch. And I would literally throw a punch, and I would miss him by this. And he would hit me just by that extra inch. And my arms are longer than yours. And, that inspired me to want to beat him. So every day I just wanted to just be better because I wanted to beat him.
So how long did you and him train?
We trained. I was with Calvin for, I'll say, probably about 6-7 years.
Get out of here. Man, you must have learned a lot. Hey, there's Bernadette Runner. That's right. We got the queen of bling on here. It don't mean a thing if you don't get her bling. Bernadette, it's good to see you this evening. Bernadette is going to be, we're up in East Fallowfield. Bernadette, put it in the chat section. No, not East Fallowfield. You're going to be at your church at a bazaar. Feel free to put it in the chat section, Bernadette, so people know where to come and get that bling this weekend. It's good to see you. Man, we got Karl Wylie on. Don't forget to hit the share button too, because I don't know any. Well, I do know real boxers because I know Calvin Grove. But other than that, I kind of like never really knew anybody about. And I find you to be so interesting, so interesting. Here's a dumb question: when they hit you up in the head with them gloves, does it hurt?
I guess it all depends. Like I said, growing up in Coatesville, I had a bigger brother. All we did was fight. So, him being bigger, stronger, it hurts. Don't get me wrong. You get hit by a kid, you'll feel it. So the gloves, they have it's like a sting to it. Just it's like I don't know. It's like getting has a sting to it, but there is a difference in somebody that has power and somebody that doesn't have power. Trust me, there is a very distinctive different type of pop when you get hit by somebody that doesn't have power compared to somebody that can throw a punch. Absolutely.
It takes a certain kind of courage that you got. Hey, Jackie Alameen, it is good to see you this evening. Jackie Alameen, who's an advocate for almost any and everybody in Coatesville. Jackie, it is always good to see you. We got Karl Wylie. That's right. We got Gwen's son on here. That's right. The wife of Molly. Everybody knows Molly. He does it all. He cuts hair. He's a DJ. Takes photography. What don't he do? He do it all, man. It is good. It is good. That's right, Karl Wylie, man. All again, that James family, too, that James gang. Hey, look, Karl, man. So outside of boxing, what are some of the other things that you enjoy doing?
I enjoy sleeping. Believe me, boxing, siring. Sports. I like being around the kids, and just try to mentor the kids because growing up, I had because I grew up in a church. Church home. I had a lot of male figures. A lot of, I mean, like to this point, as I got older, I thank my mom. But growing up, oh my goodness, anytime you got in trouble in school, the whole male, if he was a male in church and New Life in Christ Fellowship, they knew about it and they was coming to talk to you, and you're like 20 lectures every Sunday because you got suspended in school for fighting. But like I said, as you get older, you start to realize that they just wanted what's best for you. I used to go out, stand on the corner with your friends. You may not have partaked in some of the things that some of the older kids did, but just you being out there, makes you in a sense one of them. And they would pull over. They would see me and they would pull over, fan me down. Come on, what are you doing? I'm taking you home. I'm calling your mom. They just never allow me to just, do what I want. And I as I got older, I appreciate that more. And it's like, a lot of the male figures that I've had, it wasn't just about, church. It wasn't always so spiritual and biblical. Hey, the Bible says. They would give you a reference from the Bible, but they would give you real life as well. I'm not judging you, but if you go down this path, this can happen. It wasn't always about just what the Bible says, and I love that.
I got you. Man, I'm totally proud of you, man, because I've seen you grow up, man. That is all good. So, how does your family and your community support you on this journey? Have they been in your corner, provided you with any encouragement? Let's talk about
it. Anytime anybody sees me, they beep the horns, they share my posts, they support and buy tickets. They just anytime they see me, it's just when's your next fight? I'm coming. I'm bringing the family. I want to support you. How can I support you? And it's just uplifting because on Coatesville, it's notoriously known for, as they would say, hate. Seems like everybody's against everybody, and it's such a small town, so it makes it ironic. Rather everybody come together, it's like everybody, there's little groups, there's little sections, and and I just never understood it, but I've get support from everyone, like everyone.
That's so cool. I had a question that was on my mind because I'm getting older, it just drifted right out my head. Let me pull it back in. What was it? Okay, so now let me ask you a question. Now, you realize at a young age you want to fight, but is that when you realized that you wanted to do it professionally, or was there a separation? Did you just want to do it just to learn? Then one day the light bulb would say, "Man, I was going to make this a profession."
I did it because I loved it. I would go there in the rain. I would walk in the rain, and then you would spar. You get hit. You hit back, and it was like, oh, okay. And then like, hey, we got to fight for you. You know, you're gonna have your first fight. And my first fight was in Coatesville. It was at Scott Middle School in 2010. 2010 is my first amateur fight. And like when I had that fight, I mean, I had one good round in me because just the crowd screaming, my mom embarrassed me screaming, and all those things, and it was so electric, and just the atmosphere, it actually drained me because I don't think I took a breath until after the first round. It was 3 2-minute rounds. After the first 2 minutes, that's when I actually took a breath, and I didn't have anything to breathe. I was just punching, not breathing. I just was jumping back. I was doing everything. And man, when I took that first breath, I was like, oh shoot. And but from that point on, you get so much support. You're like, I gotta keep going. And then you get a little bit more experience, and you spar other guys. You go to Philly, you go to all these different places, then you get in the tournaments. And now it's like, it means something. You get in there, you knock a guy out, crowd goes crazy, and you're like, I'm pretty good at this. I think I'm gonna take it on. I think I'm gonna go to the next level with it.
Hey, now, what I was thinking about that I said that I forgot. I just remembered, so I'm gonna say it right now before I forget again. Let's talk about your upcoming fight. Come on, give them some dates, times, and calls, and all that kind of stuff.
November 1st, I will be fighting at Harold's Casino in Chester, Pennsylvania. It starts at 7. I'm doing 4 rounds, so I more likely will be fighting early. So, like I said, the door, I believe, opens at 5 or 6. The card starts at 7. And show up, show out, because I plan on doing nothing less than phenomenal.
That's right. He's going to give us 4 minutes of no breathing and just punching. He's going to be at it. He ain't playing with y'all. He said something about overtime in his promo. I don't know what he said, but come on time, y'all, because you're going to miss him now because he's going to be early.
Yeah.
Hey, Minister Palmer just checked in. He said, my young bull, I'm praying for you, champ. God got you. Let's go, man. You know what? You're going to have this whole city down here. You don't show up. We're going to pray you up and all that other kind of good stuff, man. So are you excited?
Absolutely. Very excited. Very excited.
Man. So you've had 3 professional fights so far. What has these fights taught you about yourself in the sport?
It taught me that I can overcome anything realistically because, I've taken fights trained 4 days for them, took a fight where I trained 10 days, had to lose all this weight. I've, put myself in some, unfortunate situations. But it taught me that you literally can do anything you put your mind to. Each fight, it just taught me that, you gotta be committed. And that's not just boxing, that's life, period. You got to be consistent. You got to be disciplined in anything, whether you want to be a police officer, whether you want to be the next president, whether you want to be a teacher, anything, you have to be fully committed to it because there's no such thing as staying the same. You either will elevate or you would, what's the word I'm looking for? You would digress. You never stay the same. You never get younger. You would get older. You never stay the same. And, each fight's taught me that, you got to take it serious. You got to be 110% committed to the sport or anything in life, or you will just be average. And, I feel like, there's a great motivational speaker, Eric Thomas. He says things like be phenomenal or be forgotten. And that's something that stuck with me, be phenomenal or be forgotten. And I don't plan on being forgotten for a long time.
If at all. Forget you, man. That is all right. Hey, Derek Monroe excuse me, I got a cold coming up. Hey, Derek Monroe checked in. Derek, it's good to see you. My beard is starting to imitate yours. I'm telling you, I never thought I could do it, Derek, but I got one. I'm now like your twin cousin. So how do you prepare for a fight? Mentally and physically. I mean, what is it that you do?
It really starts mentally, to be honest, because the things that you put your body through, people always say, hey, why don't you want your kids fighting or, your son or your girl's kids or, and I just be like, man, listen, or I want to box. I'm like, You sure? Because what you really have to put your body through physically, and then it starts mentally, because you don't even really realize what you're about to do to yourself. You think you think you have limits, but you don't really know. You'll be, some people can't even run to the stop sign. That might be 20 yards. I've pushed myself over the years to be able to run 12 miles.
Mhm.
And that was my max. I'm not trying to do a marathon or anything. So 12 was kind of like my max. And it's just like, you ran 12 miles? Like, do you know how far 12 miles is? Like, you put your body through torture, you run hills, you know, you put yourself through certain diets. You don't eat after certain times, and you don't eat certain things, and you stay away from juice, and just a bunch of things. The sacrifices just for the sport is ridiculous, because it's just you. It's just you. It's not football where you can go out and party and then come in the next day and be tired and coach, my minutes today, or calling sick. No, it's just you. And if you do not put in the work, you're risking your life every time you get in that ring. I respect anybody in the ring. You're literally risking your life. You're one punch away from passing away. So it's like you have to really be crazy, to be honest. You have to be a little off to really take on a sport to where, you're hitting somebody and you're being hit. Believe me, a body shots, any like that stuff doesn't feel good. Any of it doesn't. Getting hit in the solar plex, knock the wind out of you. It's just get punched and you hear like it just the sport is rugged. It is, man.
Wow. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about what you're talking about all the things you need to be. First of all, uh, well, you got to be courageous because to face what can possibly happen takes a
Mm,
certain amount of courage. It takes a certain amount of confidence and a certain amount of faith, man. And it's just amazing. It's amazing that a person can do that, man. Because if I'm gonna say in a different arena, maybe not boxing, but
mhm.
what you have to convey and what it is you do is almost what you need to do in almost any type of career that you jump into. You got to be courageous. You got to have faith. You got to have confidence that you can do it and all that stuff, man. So a person can learn a whole lot from you with just what you just said because it's not like you throw it off. Like you said, you got to be a little throw it off, but you're not throw it off because you know what can happen and you've chosen to do it anyway and to do it the best of your ability to protect yourself, to learn the craft, the science, and all that stuff. That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Hey, Levi Worthington just checked in. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. One of the co-owners of Legacies that will be opening soon for public consumption. That's right. Carl, we need you to get down there, maybe sign some autographs or something like that. When he opens up, maybe put if you got a flyer or two down there, see Mr. Levi and see if you can put it in the store so we can drum up some sales.
Absolutely.
Levi, what you think about that, man? We want to get as many Coachville community members to get down there to what is that? Harrah's they call it in Chester.
Yeah, Harris Casino. Yes, that's correct.
Harrah's Casino. You know y'all like to go down there and play them one-arm slot machines and stuff like that. I don't do it anymore, but I sure used to. Oh, what? Okay. Nova Myers, who is one of my favorite friends right there. He said, "Do you have a prediction for your upcoming fight?"
Prediction. All I would say is this fight is a little personal for me. So I would say that it's not gonna be pretty for somebody. I can almost guarantee that. I can almost guarantee it's gonna be a lot of fireworks. And of course, if it's between me and anybody else, I'm gonna choose me every time. Every time.
And no, you heard that. He said this ain't about just about business, it's personal. Oh man,
Absolutely.
this is gonna be something else, man. This is gonna be something else. Let me see what else I got here, man. That is so good. Hey, look, I got a list of questions, but there's I want you to talk about when life wasn't so good for you and how you flipped the script to turn it into the positive journey that you're on right now.
Okay.
You don't have to say anything specific if you don't want, but I want our viewers to see the journey that you have taken that always hasn't been a bed of roses and you weren't always together. But
Mm-hmm.
how God and you had decided to do what it is you're doing. Come on, talk to us.
Yeah, life's had its ups and downs. Absolutely. I had made some wrong choices, and it actually landed me in prison. And some people don't really know that it landed me upstate. I went upstate for possession of a firearm. And I really didn't need to have one, but I don't know. I did lose some friends earlier in my youth years, so at in my youthful days, I had a mindset, rather you than me, if it ever came down to it, and it was just a very immature mindset to say the least. But it landed me in prison, and I went upstate, and I was able to get boot camp at some point, and that was like a big turning point for me. You get around certain people that's just never coming home. You know, and it's just like, it's way more than life than that. And I wanted way more out of my life than just that. And it's, I went there, went to jail, came home, never been back since. Never had any issues since then, haven't no violations. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I never drank or smoke. So it just was just like, I made a choice, not a mistake, it was a choice. And it's like, man, that'd never be me again. And I had, like I said, it's all it takes is just one time. It just takes just one time. You go out. I had a cousin that got called to a situation. He ended up getting to the fight, and the person died. Went to jail. It's just like it just takes one time, and that's why I'm like, I really try to be like a big mentor to the youth, because it literally, you're going to make mistakes. But, if you have somebody that's, telling you right from wrong, ultimately you're gonna make a decision and you have to live with that decision. But you have a better chance of making better decisions if you're around better people.
Mm, that's a good one right there. That's a good. Hey man, that'll preach right there. Hey y'all, come on now. Hey, that's why I love talking to you, Carl, man, because you make so much good sense. Okay, let me ask you a question. So, in your training, what has been one or some of your biggest challenges, and how you overcame them?
Training, just having a fight and not having a gym, not having consistent transportation. Because like I said, once that gym closed down in Coatesville, there hasn't been a gym since. And the closest gym is like Phoenixville, which is, 35 minutes. And Calvin Grove used to pick us up and take us there every day faithfully. He wasn't being paid his gas. He would get us food, like just a great dude all around, just a great mentor. Never steered us wrong. But there's just no local gyms. There's one in Kennett called Straight 2-3. Coach Dwayne, Chada, Shannon, some fighters in there, some coaches. That's a great place to go. You have Phoenixville Pal with Jimmy Dioria, a retired professional fighter. He's also a cop. And I'm hoping we can get a pal down in Coatesville. I spoke with them a few years ago about trying to get something down in Coatesville, but I guess that's a topic for another day. Hopefully something in the upcoming future. But it's just, that's really the hardest thing, having to lose weight, but you don't have a gym. That means I used to have to run after every meal, work out after every meal. So I get up in the morning, I'll run, I eat breakfast, I'll go for a run with a sauna suit, Abilene all rubbed all over my body to open up my pores, to get the extra sweat, come home, take a nap, eat lunch, go run again, come home, maybe fool around, try to relax. Then you might have duties, with the kids or other, obligations. Then go to the gym. If there is, I had to go to LA Fitness and just sit in the sauna after, hitting the bag. I'm just drained, and I'm just trying to make weight, man. Because a lot of people don't know, most fighters don't fight at the weight that they walk around at. So for instance, I'm fighting at 130. But I walk around 147, 150. If I'm really just eating crazy, I'm 155. A lot of guys, they don't fight at the weight that they walk around at. And most people don't know that. You see these fights, there was a time for amateur tournament out Las Vegas when I was the best fighter in the state. And I went out there to represent Pennsylvania. The weigh-ins was, I had to weigh in every morning. And, I was gaining after breakfast. I was gaining, 5-6 pounds after breakfast. Yeah, like you'll be surprised how much weight you can just put right back on. Like you'll be and even after the tournament, I gained like 12 pounds in like 2 days. My face was like fat, and it was like I was eating, but I wasn't satisfied. It was like the craziest thing for me while I was eating, because I was never satisfied. So I just kept eating and eating and eating, and I just was never full. And then before I got home, and I had fat cheeks and love handles, and it was like I was just really slim 3 days ago. It was like, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. Uh, so how would you describe your fighting style?
I would say I'm a boxer puncher. Boxer puncher, versatile. I can stand in the pocket in a phone booth. I can fight from a distance and use a jab. I'm really just, I'll say, a unique fighter because I got power in either hand. Most people have a good right hand, but their left hand is like, just stay away from the right hand. Their left hand, and some people have a great left hand, but the right hand is just like, I'm really like a, pick your poison fighter, because I was blessed to be able to, have power in either hand, great coordination in either hand. So I'll say a boxer puncher. We can stand in and go toe to toe if you want, or, we can fight from a distance. Me personally, I'm gonna do what you don't want to do. So if you want to box, we're gonna stand there a little bit. If you want to be aggressive, I'm obviously gonna make you have to, move around a little bit. I'm never gonna do what you want me to do. You're gonna do what I want you to do.
There you go. Hey, Donald Anderson checked in. Hey, Donald, man, it is good to see you this evening. Trice Dickerson, I think I seen that name. Let me make sure. Charmaine Hunt just checked in. Ian Jones. Ian, it is good to see you. Don't forget to hit the share button, y'all. And don't forget, uh, Carl will be fighting at Harrah's Casino in Chester, November the 1st. Come on down at 7 o'clock. He's going to be in one of the earlier fights. He's going to be on the earlier fights until he becomes the main attraction. And he's on that journey. So let's be there with him. Let's help him, encourage him with our resources, our tickets, and stuff like that, man. We do it, Coach, right? I am so excited. And I'm learning a lot of stuff from Carl, man, in regards to, like, you don't fight at the weight you walk around at, man. I'm telling you. Hey, what's the most important lesson boxing has taught you about discipline?
Oh man, if you're not disciplined, it will show. If you're not taking your regiment serious, what you eat, what you put in your body, if you're not taking your training serious, your studies, if you're just not anything you're not doing that you should be doing, it will show. It will show you. This is a lonely sport. Nobody's coming to save you. It will show tremendously. If you're not in shape, you get out there, you throw a couple punches, you somebody on the other side, and they're 9 times out of 10, they're not going to hold your hand. They're not going to coddle you. So what you going to do? Nobody's there to save you. Not in that fact. The referee will step in, but that's a loss. Nobody's going to just hold your hand through anything. So you better be disciplined. You better really want it.
Mm. Hey, Omar checked in. That's 2 months on here this evening, man. We doing just good. Eric Twine, man, he said, "Cuz, when your cuz is fighting, Eric, be there or be square." He said this fight is not just business, but it's personal. So my prayers go out to his opponent. May I'm not gonna say rest in peace because that sounds final and fatal, but I feel bad for the brother. I feel bad for him. Now we're going to get into the community and legacy part of this show, man. Being from the community, what does it mean for you to represent us on a professional stage?
It means a lot, man. It means a lot. From Coatesville, born, bred, and raised. It's not too many people that come from Coatesville from an athletic standpoint. Be a professional. You have Calvin Groove, of course, at the top of the food chain. You have Richard Rip Hamilton. He made it. You have Derek Morgan. You have some young guys. Jameer Brickus. I believe there was the other one that just for football. I'm trying to think of his name off the top of my head. He made it with football, but it's not too many. It's not too many people it's not too many people. So just to be able to say I'm from Coatesville and I'm a professional, and I'm trying to, because when it comes to Coatesville, they talk so much about negative about Coatesville, but they really don't know people from Coatesville. And Coatesville has a lot of potential. We just don't really have the outs that most other cities have, or just the finances. Like right now, Ash Park is shut down because they're renovating it. That that is what it is, but that leaves the kids one less thing to do.
Yeah,
So it's just like we don't have much here. So to be able to try to make a better name for Coastville, because all they do is talk about us, but we got the best athletes.
yeah, that's
They're
true.
lucky that it's more. That's not more of us. Got the best athletes. They can't stand us in sports, from midget league to high school. They don't like us for whatever reason. I understand why they don't. They're always afraid of talent. Of course, we breed champions. We just, a lot of us might not per se make it, but we always got the best talent. They might not make the best choices that prevents them from getting to that next level, but our talent level is just no comparison.
Hey, you got Bo Williams that said, don't forget Jimmy Clark, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We forgot Jimmy
Jimmy
Clark.
Clark,
I mean, he
yes,
was
sir.
wait, didn't he fight Ali at one time, I believe? Or I may be a little bit off, but yes, Jimmy Clark, professional from Coatesville. Hey, and to piggyback off of what you're saying about the negativity and things of that nature, and per, I'm going to say, I don't want to create a word. I want to say per mile. You know how they say per capita. I want to say in regards to Coachville
Yes.
being 1.2 thirds miles long or whatever. The amount of athletes we have here far exceeds professional athletes that have succeeded in bigger cities. We are talking about in the space of what's 1 mile, 8 blocks. So we're talking about 14 blocks. Are you kidding me? You got a Hall of Fame you got a Hall of Fame basketball player. You got 2 or 3 basketball players that's playing in professional leagues. I mean, come on, you had a champion, Calvin. Oh yeah. So in the square mile, we got a lot of winners. But more so than this, we have people that are winners that don't play sports. You know, see, they're the ones
Absolutely.
that put on the hard hat every day and go to work. Come on, feed their kids, mind their own business, take care of their family, and raise them. You know what I mean? There are so many winners. It's the people that walk up and down the street calling each other cuz. They know good and well they ain't cuz, but they got so much love for each other, they call each other cuz. See, those are the winners for me in my life. You know what I mean? When I first came to Coachville, it was a little annoying because I was like, my mom was like into a selfish thing, like, man, we ain't cousins. I don't even know you. But then I realized why Coachville does say and do what they do. And I have never met anybody or any community that is so entrenched with each other and has so much love for each other that it's kind of like hard for me to dwell on the negative because there's so much doggone positive stuff happening. I'll be like, yo, I love, man. Let me let that go. All right, that's my rant for the day. All right, here we go. Hey, man, young people? How do you want young people here to see your journey? How do you want them
Um.
to journey?
Go ahead. I want them to see it as somebody that got knocked down and got back up. The irony, the facade of life. With the up and coming is, you can't take a loss. You can't have a setback. You have to be the best basketball player ever. You can never lose a game. You can never lose a fight. You can never fail a test, and that's false. That's a false narrative. And once they see that they tasted defeat, they just crumble. They just, I don't want to. I want to do something else. I don't want to do that anymore because you took a loss. Because you lost a basketball game, baseball game, you lost a video game. Now you want to break the controller. I hate it. I hate sports all because you tasted defeat. But that's just not life, because you're going to fail. You're going to have a lot of failures.
Mm,
You're going to fail tests. You're going to lose jobs because you didn't wake up, or you got tardy, you wasn't going to work on time. Things are going to happen, but you can overcome anything. Circumstances don't define you, your choices do. At the end of the day, so you fall down 9 times, you get up 10. Make it up 11. You just keep moving forward, and you can overcome anything. So for me, this was just a setback and a reality check that was well needed. You know, it was well needed.
I might have to sell this video because he's saying so much good stuff. You think I can get $10 or something? You fall down 10, get up 11. So you see what I'm saying? He knows what he's talking about. I like this young guy, man. Hey, Levi said, Kyle, one fight at a time and be an example for the young bucks. Build your legacy. Hey, Derek,
Absolutely.
Jimmy Clark sparred with Mike Tyson in his early years. That's right. I wonder if Jimmy Clark got brain damage. Mike Tyson was hitting real hard back then. You know what I mean? So yeah, yes. So look, we're almost at the end now. It was almost time for me to eat, but I'm so excited about talking to you. Who are some boxers, past or present, that you look up to or study? Are there any?
My favorite was Roy Jones Jr. He's probably one of the most athletic fighters I've ever seen. He does everything wrong. He did everything wrong, but he was so gifted that he got away with everything, and it was just like it was a masterclass. You know, it was amazing the things that he could do that he just shouldn't been able to do, but he just dominated. So him, I liked Bernard Hopkins because of his story. You know, he was incarcerated, he was upstate, and he fought his way out of jail. Came home, I think he lost his first pro fight or second pro fight, but here he is, the oldest champion ever. You know, retired, one of the oldest champions, came out of retirement, fought, won a belt again as the oldest champion ever. Like it's just amazing. Who else? Floyd Mayweather. I just liked. He was entertaining. He was very entertaining. Calvin Grove, of course. He was my sparring partner for a lot of my earlier years, and he's showed me a lot. You know, like I told you previously, we were sparring one time, and he hit me with like 3 left hooks in a row. Just same hand, and I'm just like, he just throws 3 left hooks with the same hand. Like, I'm taking it. Like I had to take that and add that. Like he really, but it was so fluid. You'd be like, I was like, he really just did that. And who else? I like Muhammad Ali because of his story, what he had to overcome. I like Mike Tyson, but I like guys because what they had to overcome.
That's good.
They had to overcome. Some of them had to overcome a lot of things. What got them into fight? Muhammad Ali learned how to fight because somebody stole his bike, and Mike Tyson fought because he was in juvenile, in a juvenile detention center, and that's where he learned how to fight and got into a fight because somebody popped the head off of his can't even think of the pigeon. Somebody ripped the head off his pigeon. That was the first fight he got into, and so it's just like a lot of fighters. I really look up to a lot of fighters, especially the ones that struggle. Modern day, I like Terrence Crawford, but I like Boots Ennis too. I actually got to spar him. He just had a fight over the weekend, and it went like 1 minute into the fight. He's a great fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. He's
Okay, so now we're getting ready to wind up and wind down. It's almost time for Brother Quan to eat his dinner. Hey, look, before I close, man, now let's find out, what is your long-term goal? What do you have, man?
I really just want to just give it one last run. Just I never really took boxing serious. No matter, I won tournaments, nationally, won things, won fights on a pro level, but I never really trained. And anybody that knew me would tell you like he's like never in the gym. But I was one of those guys that can just come off the couch, but I just had it. I just had it. Then they said Allen Iverson for basketball, he could run a mile in like 5 minutes, and he didn't train. They said he would go out and party, come in and just drop 50 points. And, it was just like some people just have it. And, God blessed me with the ability to just have it. So now it's just like me, just give it 100%. And let's see what happens. A lot of they say your prime years is 27 to 34. I'm 33. So according to statistics, they're saying, I have 1 more year or so before I decline. But I feel 25, to be completely honest. So, just give them all and let's see what happens. Let's see. I like myself every night.
That's all right. Hey, look, man, I want to thank you, man, for allowing me to spend a little time with you. But before we close, I always let my guests give them the opportunity to speak to our viewers and just share anything that may be on your heart, on your mind, or whatever that you would like to share with us before we close.
Just want to say thank you to anybody that tuned in and anybody that shared it and supported it. I really appreciate you. If you have time, November 1st, which is a Saturday, Harris Casino, I would love to see you there. Get there early. We don't get paid for overtime. It's going to be very exciting, very intriguing. So I just appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. And until I see you next time, that's it. That's really all I have. And just shout out to Coatesville, CKR, the Midget League, the football youth. You know, that's the season right now. It's a little too cold for me. I had this interview, so I wasn't gonna be down there today. But that's a big movement. I think we have one undefeated team left, but we got a lot of good teams. And shout out to the coaches and the mentors because you don't get paid for anything. The team moms, just everybody that helps try to help with the youth. And I want to say, hopefully, everybody continues to try to elevate the kids and be positive with the kids because they are the future.
I see Molly finally checked in. Molly, it's good to see you, man. I was wondering what was happening. We was talking about you earlier. You be doing so much stuff, man, DJing, photographing and stuff. I didn't know where you was at. Well, Karl, man, once again, man, thank you for allowing me to just spend a little bit of time with you, man. It is good hearing you. My prayers are that you will be given victory. I don't believe in luck, so I won't say good luck. But, man, God be with you, man. All my community members out there, man, if nobody told you that they love you today, man, I certainly love y'all. I appreciate you. God is amazing. I'm so grateful to have seen another day on this earth. And Karl, man, it has been a plum-pleasing pleasure, man.
Yes, sir.
A good career, and we're going to talk soon, all right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, sir.
You're welcome. Peace out, Coatesville. Bam.